Get the upper hand on your competition with SCUF controllers. Use code OGXRAYZ to get 5% off your entire order. Yo guys, what's up? It's XRAYZ. Welcome back to another Black Ops 4 video. Now, I actually want to discuss with you guys something very interesting, a potential leak here for Black Ops 4 Zombies for Voyage of the Dead, for 9, and for Blood of the Dead. So before I jump into the leaks, I want to give you guys kind of a history of how this happened, who this guy or person is, and then you guys can form your own opinions on whether you want to believe or completely flat out deny or say that it's fake, this information. But let's go ahead first and jump into how this all started, where it came from. So the other day, a YouTuber by the name of Two Epic Buddies posted about some leaks with multiplayer map names. Some of these were just straight up names for maps like Seaside or Contraband. Others of these names were still game file names, so MP_rated, for instance. So after he posted this, people were trying to figure out, well, where the hell was this source? Where's this leak? Who was the first person who posted about this? Because Two Epic Buddies was not the source of this leak. They were merely reporting on this leak. And so it was eventually figured out that this leak actually came from a forum by the name of The Tech Game, and the person who posted this information was actually GCali22. Now, the original post that he posted was on Thursday, May 31st, 2018. He created his account on May 30, 2016. He's only made 7 posts, and one of these posts is this one. Now, the post that he actually showed was the names of the maps, and then also links to images that showed what the scouting, or what area scouts did or looked at, location scouts basically, so they would go look at areas and then decide if it would be good for a map. So apparently this guy is in Treyarch or something's going on, but he put links to Google Maps that showed areas where they had gone to and the inspiration behind these maps. So that I thought was pretty interesting. And I do also want to mention that the only reason I found out about these zombies leaks is because of Prestige's Key. He actually talked about these map leaks and then went on to mention that this guy had other posts, and within those posts he actually was talking about zombies. And I like multiplayer, I'm excited for multiplayer, but zombies to me is the big one. The storyline information, where it's going, that's the big thing for me. So I'm excited. And so let's go ahead now that I've explained who this guy is. He posted these map names and then he posted images to Google Maps where he says that the inspiration for these maps were from. You can believe that this guy's legit, or you can think that he's fake. We'll find out soon enough. If we get a new map at E3 or at the next MLG event or at Comic-Con, then we'll find out whether these leaks are real or fake, because the multiplayer maps will eventually show us. If any of these maps come true, then the leak might be true. So anyways, he posted other information, so I went over to his actual account and he had other posts. Some of them was Zombie Storyline for X, Voyage of Despair Community Leak, and then Blood of the Dead. Those were the 3 he did before he actually did the multiplayer maps. And I kind of want to go through each one of these with you guys, because there's actually a certain order that you do this in, and some of these are actually very, very vague, and the other one, which for Blood of the Dead, is actually very, very interesting because it explains a lot more than the other 2 storyline leaks that he posted. So the first one, Zombie Storyline Community Leak X9, or 1X, basically 9. So this is what he posted. All 4 characters start to hear voices that guide them to a cave. There, they drink from the cauldron, providing them with a dream of the past, an ancient order with the power to unleash evil on the world. It is here where our 4 characters, Invictus, must escape the dream with the knowledge of the ancient order before they are destroyed. In the Easter egg, you must not only escape the dream, but learn about the artifact and discover where it could be in modern day, which is 1912. So right off the bat, the really interesting thing is that now we actually have a code name for this group. So for you guys that are wondering what the hell this means, well, we had Primus, which is from Black Ops 3, which is the crew, the old crew, basically the younger versions of themselves. That's Primus. Ultimus is the older version of the crew, and then Victus is the crew from Buried. So Victus is the Buried crew, Primus is the crew from Origins, Ultimus is the group that we grew up with in World at War, in Black Ops 1, in Black Ops 2, in World at War, and in Black Ops 1. So now we have a new code name for these 4 new characters by the name of Invictus. So we got Primus, Ultimus, Victus, and now Invictus, which would be like the opposite of Victus. That's very interesting. So what does that, I don't know. I kind of want to look up the definition, and I think I will. So let me look that up real quick and see if there's any kind of origin to this word. So then Invictus, and I'm just looking this up, apparently means unconquered, which is very interesting because that would mean that they're still free. I don't know if this is a reference. Again, this could all be fake, and maybe I'm reading too much into this, but if Invictus means unconquered, then that would mean that they're not, you know, they're not subjugated by something else. Like Primus at the end of Revelations, they were essentially reduced to dust. Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good, dust situation. And they went on to, I believe, repeat the cycle for the beginning of Primus. I believe at least that's what happened. There was no definitive answer given there. And then the buried crew also, in a sense, is also doomed because they were frozen underneath Alcatraz, and that's the last we heard of them before their whole planet was destroyed. So Unconquered Invictus, I think, means that these guys have a new chance. They are the chance to kind of break through and do something. So this is very interesting. Again, this could be all completely fake, but I think it's very interesting that this is an actual word that has a definition, which means unconquered. So that's the first storyline. Apparently, these guys are in a dreamlike state. They drank from that cauldron thing, which we saw in the cutscene or the trailer. And then from there, you have to escape from there and then learn a little bit about the artifact. And then from there, we actually move on to Voyage of the Dead. Apparently, Voyage of the Dead takes place after 9. So for the leak for Voyage of the Dead, G. Cali posted this one. Voyage of Despair. Invictus learns the artifact is on board the Titanic. They travel to the Titanic to retrieve the artifact. And a bandit confronts them. He activates the artifact, turning everyone on board into zombies. In the Easter egg, Invictus must battle through the waves of zombies on board the Titanic and secure the artifact from the now zombified version of the bandit. At the end of the Easter egg, Invictus secures the artifact, only to learn that there are copies that must be tracked down and destroyed before it's too late. So from here, he continues on with that code name that he gave this crew, this new crew, and keeps referring to them as Invictus. And apparently they've traveled from that dreamlike state where they broke free of that dreamlike state in 9 and are now trying to track down where these artifacts that they saw in the dream are. And in this case, as we saw in the trailer for this one, for Voyage of Despair, we learned that this, I believe, he's referring to as a bandit or a collector, found this artifact. They try to steal it. The artifact then turns everyone into zombies on boat. So it does look like this seems pretty credible, but again, this guy might just be going off what he saw in the trailer. So there is also that. So this one was also pretty interesting. Doesn't really give us any more information. Obviously, you're gonna find zombies, probably trying to grab that artifact. I get that. And then apparently now after that, you have to go find more of them and destroy them. I thought that was interesting. Now, the biggest one is going to be the information he posted on Blood of the Dead. This one does not mention Invictus at all. This is all about Primus, and it also mentions Victus, which is, again, the group from Barry. So let's go ahead and read through this one. Blood of the Dead. Intro cutscene is the same as the trailer played at the reveal event. Very little context is offered from the start. As you progress through the Easter egg, you discover that the Primus group has not yet been to Gorakrovi or Revelations, and you are post Zetsubo no Shima. I do want to mention here, side note, that this guy is well versed in the zombie storyline. This guy knows the events. He knows that there was a period between Zetsubo and Gorakrovi where Richtofen and the group went to what is believed to be Mob of the Dead. They took the vials and they went on to Gorakrovi. So this guy seems to be a pretty big fan of zombies, even if maybe he's fake, but this guy seems to be knowledgeable in zombies. So I thought that was interesting that he's very accurate with his storyline information, or I should say the timeline. But going on, it says, it is very similar to the comics. However, halfway through the Easter egg, Richtofen's voice can be heard in each of the characters' heads, breaking from the comic. This is the Richtofen from post-Revelation. He is giving the crew explicit instructions not to proceed to Gorakrovi and instead do everything in their power to break the cycle, which I assume is the cycle where we saw the end of Revelations, and I believe it all resets. At the end of the Easter egg, after collecting the blood and confronting pre-Shadows of Evil Richtofen, so I believe this is again Primus, but like a different version of Primus, an alternate version, the one who's stuck in the loop possibly. So then they meet up with this pre-Shadows of Evil Richtofen. Nikolai informs Primus a chain of events must be set in motion and notify Shadows Richtofen of the location of the summoning key within Morgue City, creating a Shakespeare paradox. Now that is something that I also want to look up. So let's look up Shakespeare paradox. All right, so definition of paradox. A paradox is a statement that seems contradictory but is actually true. In literature, paradoxes are used to create a deeper meaning. As readers, we look closer at paradoxes to find the relevance to the theme. In William Shakespeare's play, Macbeth, there are several paradoxes. So then he finishes the post by putting, Primus then warps through a rift to the moment after Shadows Richtofen leaves and awakens Victus as Primus Richtofen states. The paradox must be resolved. Primus then leaves Mob of the Dead through a rift, leaving you to play as Victus with Perkaholic equipped. So quick recap, just everything that he said here about Blood of the Dead. Primus leaves Zetsubo no Shima. They show up at Mob of the Dead at Alcatraz. When they show up there, they start going through the storyline that they had before, where they show up, they grab the blood vials, they leave, and they end up in OGXRAYZ. But apparently on Blood of the Dead, this new map that's coming here with Black Ops 4, it changes that, which is what we saw apparently in the comics. And in this one, when they show up at Alcatraz, they're fighting, they're trying to get the blood, and then while they're trying to get the blood, they start hearing Primus Richtofen. So a different Primus Richtofen starts talking to them and saying, yo, you guys need to do whatever you can to break the cycle, and apparently starts leading them in a new direction from what we saw originally in the Black Ops 3 storyline. So the group, instead of going from Zetsubo to Alcatraz over to OGXRAYZ, instead they go Zetsubo to Alcatraz to Shadows of Evil, pre-Richtofen showing up. They then tell him about where the artifact is or where the summoning key is. He then leaves from there and they awaken Victus and they leave through a different portal. So they're not headed to OGXRAYZ after this, and then they leave Victus behind, and you actually end up playing as Victus, which again is the buried crew, for the rest of the map, which I think is very, very cool. They got obviously Perkaholic equipped and all that good stuff. So I thought that was actually pretty freaking cool. I think that's a pretty interesting idea to it, where it's different enough. You're not just, you know, doing a one and done storyline where it's essentially what happened or what they went through when they were doing the, you know, grabbing of the blood vials between Zetsubo and OGXRAYZ. And again, the guys over at Treyarch were saying that this was their best script, that they had done something amazing for Blood of the Dead, and if they're saying that, then I would assume that it's not going to be some generic storyline that follows what happened in Black Ops 3. It's probably going to break conventions or break the way that the storyline was going in the first place. So I think it'll be interesting, and this might be a real possibility where Primus shows up just before they're about to leave to go to OGXRAYZ. This Primus Richtofen from a different reality, possibly the one after Revelation, says, yo, not so fast, don't go to OGXRAYZ, you guys have to change some stuff up, and we might be following their storyline through the DLC season. I'm so excited if that's actually true, because it was already confirmed that we're going to have two different storylines going at once. The crew here, Invictus, as we're going to refer to them from now on in this video, and then also from Primus, who is going in this different slipstream. They've broken from the timeline into their own separate timeline now, I would assume, and is doing their own thing. So that is going to be pretty interesting. So again, like I was saying, take all of this with a grain of salt. This could be all completely wrong, but I wanted to share this post with you guys, give you guys this information. At you know, worst, this is a pretty cool storyline that you guys let me know what you guys think about it. And at best, this might actually be leaked information on Black Ops 4 Zombies and what to expect. I'm a little bit skeptical because of the fact that he was, for the first two posts, like for Voyage of the Dead and for 9, it was all very following what the trailer said and making assumptions from there. It felt like that. But then this final one for Blood of the Dead seems like this guy has a ton of knowledge of the storyline and possibly knows what he's talking about. So I don't know a lot. We'll definitely see about that, but I'm excited and I want to share this with you guys. So thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you guys did, drop a like, drop a favorite on the video. It is super, super appreciated and incredibly helpful. And if you are new to the channel, if you want to see even more content like this, I'm going to have a ton more Call of Duty Black Ops 4 news, info, rumors, leaks, and more coming. So obviously, make sure you guys are subscribed and have those notifications on so you don't miss a single upload here on the channel. I'm going to be covering this stuff as fast as I can. So, but anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you want to support the channel directly, you guys can do so by joining my sponsor squad. You get access to early content, exclusive videos, and a special badge that shows up in all of my live streams and in the comment sections of all my videos. So check that out only if you are willing and able to. Also, if you guys do want to talk about this or anything, Twitter is the best place to do so. I'm constantly on there, so give me a follow over there at OGXRAYZ. I'll have a link down below in the description, along with links to my gaming and second channel for even more content from me. But anyways, you guys have an awesome day. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. I'm out. Peace.